This is the Scrap Metal Commodities Recycling and Economic Report by BENLEE and Raleigh Goldsboro Recycling, July 31st, 2017. Last week, commodity prices were mostly higher and economic reports were positive. U.S. steel production rose to a 4-month high and capacity utilization of steel mills hit a new 2017 high of 76.1%, which is great for profitability. Nucor last week reported that they were running at 90%. The U.S. dollar decreased to 93.39, a 15-month low, which helps increase U.S. exports and increases the prices of commodities, which are traded in U.S. dollars. Oil rose about $4 a barrel to $49.57 a barrel on good demand and a sharp fall in U.S. inventories. OPEC had targeted reducing shipments to the U.S. to reduce U.S. oil inventories, which are very visible to the markets. They seem to have done that, and the prices are up. The U.S. oil rig count rose 2 to 766 as the count continues to rise, but at a lower rate than we've seen in the past due to the lower oil prices. Iron ore rose again to 70.50, which is now the highest in a few months, putting upward pressure on finished steel prices and scrap prices. Nucor's plant that makes DRI, a scrap metal substitute, went offline due to an equipment failure. This will create more demand in the southeast for scrap metal, which will put upward pressure on scrap prices. Scrap ferrous prices remain steady, but export prices have been on the rise. With a weakening U.S. dollar, solid global demand, combined with Nucor's DRI plant offline, this will put upward pressure on scrap prices for August. Hot-dip galvanized steel rose again to $9.22 a ton on good demand and the need to pass on higher raw material costs. Stainless 304 scrap prices remain steady at 29.5 cents per pound on little news. A weak dollar could put upward pressure on this low price. Copper rose a huge 16 cents to $2.88 on weakening dollar and good demand, especially from China. Prices are up a penny this morning to $2.89. The 5-year chart shows the major run-up in the past 8 months and the 2-year high. Copper inventories were little changed but remain near a high for the year and double that of a year ago, which is actually putting downward pressure on prices. Aluminum prices were little changed, ending at 85.5 cents, remaining near a multi-year high. Good global demand and the weakening dollar is putting upward pressure on prices. Aluminum inventories rose slightly but actually remain near 9-year lows on this good demand, also keeping upward pressure on those prices. U.S. consumer sentiment raised up to 93.4 in July, which while high, it's the lowest since October 2016. Republicans are feeling much better about the future than Democrats. But Republicans are feeling less optimistic in recent months, so we're seeing this number come down as Democrats feel very pessimistic. The U.S. economy grew by an annualized rate of 2.6% in the second quarter, which was the second highest growth rate in 2 years. Business equipment investment, non-residential construction, and federal spending were up, with exports and residential investment down. Caterpillar is a good indicator of the global commodity markets. They reported a 37% increase in profits. They said, while a number of our end markets remain challenged, construction in China and gas compression in North America were highlights in the quarter. Mining and oil-related activities have come off their recent lows, and we're seeing improving demand for construction in most regions. The U.S. Purchasing Manager Index rose to 53.2 in July, the highest level in 4 months. It's the highest value in the 4 months as output, new orders, employment, and stocks of inputs rose faster. Wall Street continued its 8+ year almost steady run up as the Dow Jones hit yet another new high, ending at 21,830. These highs are feeding consumer confidence and helping spending. For those that missed it, BENLEE entered the lugger business a couple of years ago by buying Huge Haul, the original lugger company with the original load lugger patents. Call us for a quote, or to rent one, call Premier Truck Sales. As always, feel free to call or email with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.